Hey guys, Reese here and welcome back to my channel. So I actually had a different video planned for today. However, I'm gonna push that one to Thursday because we have some very interesting news that came out surrounding cryptocurrency that I wanted to touch on immediately. Now this type of video is a little bit out of the ordinary for me. I'm much more a real estate guy. That's really my sphere of knowledge and education. So I try to stay away from topics like cryptocurrency or things I don't know as well. However, I did make a video a few days ago, which I'll link up here, covering my general thoughts on cryptocurrency, my portfolio, how it's gone up and down, and the consensus of that video is that I do think it's a technology that's going to change the world as it has already, and that it's here to stay and the value will continue over time with dramatic ups and downs. It'll continue to go up long term. However, today we saw the news break that Tesla converted some of its cash on hand, $1.5 billion worth, into Bitcoin. And in addition to that, if that wasn't enough to cause the price to skyrocket, we also see that Tesla will begin to accept on a limited trial basis Bitcoin for purchasing their cars. And so today I want to talk a little bit about what that means for cryptocurrency as a whole here. And before we dive into that, I'd love to ask you guys to like this video, comment below your thoughts on cryptocurrency. As I've stated many times, I'm not an expert. I won't pretend to be, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on what this means for cryptocurrency. And I'd love to have you guys subscribe to the channel if you're interested in personal finance and mostly real estate here. So guys, before we dive in, man, it's been a very, very wild ride for cryptocurrency. I got involved in it in 2017 when the rest of the world, the craze happened, all-time highs every other day. And, you know, it's been a roller coaster to say the least. So we saw those all-time highs every other day in 2017, and then all the way down to the bottom in 2019. And now, 2021, we're back up to almost twice the all-time highs we saw back in 2017. You know, in 2017, we saw these massive explosions of value when it came to cryptocurrency across the board, whether Bitcoin or, you know, a lot of the scams we saw back in those days and even today. But that was due to retail investors. A lot of people that were not too educated on cryptocurrency, but they got involved because it became easier to invest in through software platforms like Coinbase or Binance, things like that. Of course, as prices skyrocketed, a lot of other people jumped in due to FOMO. People are hearing their friends making 100, 200, 1,000% on their money, and they dive in at the top, just continuing to push prices higher. And of course, that wasn't sustainable. And so inevitably, we saw that bubble pop after, you know, a couple scandals, you know, BitConnect going down, things like that, people losing their money due to scams. We saw that bubble pop. And then come towards the bottom in 2019. Well, today we're seeing something a little bit different, and I think this is really just the beginning here when it comes to values for the top cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum. See, today we're starting to see an influx of capital come into the market due to institutional investors and corporations. And it's interesting because we see that the prices, the all-time highs of, say, Bitcoin are, you know, we just passed $40,000 today. Well, back in 2017, you know, the all-time high was in the 20s, $20,000. And, you know, the hysteria back then, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Today, we are starting to hear that again, but it's not nearly as hysterical as it was back in 2017. And I believe the reason for that is because it's a lot of institutional and corporate investors and, you know, not as much coming from retail, smaller investors, although we are seeing that as well. And that, of course, brings us to the news that broke today about Tesla converting some of its cash on hand into Bitcoin. See, Tesla and the almighty Elon Musk, announced in an SEC filing that broke today that they've converted some of their cash on hand into $1.55 billion worth of Bitcoin. And the primary reason for this was building liquidity in Bitcoin for when they start accepting payments for their vehicles. Now, this was really only a matter of time, but this is huge news for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. See, fiat currency like the US dollar has buying power because the government backs it. The government guarantees that value. However, cryptocurrency has value because people give it value, supply and demand. And cryptocurrency can only go so far if there's no real use case for it. If nobody is spending cryptocurrency or it doesn't go anywhere from here, then eventually the excitement will die off. People won't be putting money into the currencies anymore, and eventually prices will retreat. However, if cryptocurrency is accepted for many things like purchasing Tesla vehicles, then the value will continue to go up because people put more and more value on that. See, Tesla is just paving the way for many other corporations to start to accept cryptocurrency as well. And as they start to accept cryptocurrency as payment for their goods and services, they will buy and they will hold more cryptocurrency. And with that, supply is limited for Bitcoin. And so as these corporations buy billions and billions of dollars of Bitcoin, that's demand right there. And supply is limited. The price has to go up to compensate for that. See, Apple has close to $200 billion worth of cash on hand. What would happen if by seeing Tesla put some money into Bitcoin and start to accept it as payment, and they see it's working out well for Tesla? What happens now if Apple goes ahead and converts some of their $200 billion, let's say 20%, $40 billion into Bitcoin? The price would have to explode to compensate for that substantial demand that can't be met with new supply of Bitcoin. See, $40 billion invested into Bitcoin by, let's say, Apple, that would be equivalent to 8 million people putting $5,000 into the currency. And so by a few corporations kind of chipping in and throwing a small portion of their cash on hand into currencies like this, that's going to have a dramatic effect on the price. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general are still relatively new investments, and the mechanics behind them relatively unknown to a lot of people. I understand the basics, but I still have a lot to learn. And so I expect we'll continue to see those 15 to 30% declines in price and increases in price before it becomes more mainstream and eventually stabilizes. However, this is exciting news for those of us that have put some money into cryptocurrency and are kind of expecting or banking on the value going up over the long term. This is reassuring to see companies like Tesla start to put money into crypto. So guys, I'm not a cryptocurrency channel. I wanted to hop on here and talk about this because of one of my latest videos talking about my portfolio and chat about the news with you guys. Leave some comments down below on what you think this means for cryptocurrency, what we'll see happening over the next year or two. And give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Give it a subscribe. I'd love to see you guys around here for more real estate related content and a little bit of finance. But if you guys want some more cryptocurrency educational content instead of more like entertainment like this, go ahead and check out Andre Jick's channel. Love the guy. He does great content, great educational content on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole. So I'll tag that somewhere up here. But guys, thank you so much for checking in today. I really appreciate all the support. I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be Thursday with what was going to be today's video. So guys, thanks again. Have a great day. Bye.